Let's bring in Adam Button, Chief Currency Analyst at Forex Live. Adam, pretty tough time to trade the British pound, considering it can move pretty violently in either direction based off of headlines.
Oh, it's wild right now for traders. I mean, you see now how algorithms dominate markets and how these moves happen so quickly. It was a move up more than a cent, and then very quickly a move back down about an hour later, and then it popped right back up again just on various headlines filtering through about whether we can get a deal done or not.
Now, in terms of the political turmoil and what's ahead for Brexit, people who are trading this currency, it seems to be you need to be pretty agile, in and out, at the right spots, and pretty quick to act.
Yeah, I think for traders at this point, you can't really listen to the noise. You have to bet on something getting done or not. And it's so difficult to envision this getting better before it gets worse. Theresa May really has no allies, even within her party. Within the EU, the headlines that brought it back down today were EU problems with this deal. So, can this get through Parliament is the next big question, and that's going to be a very monumental task.
Now, the fall economic update landed yesterday afternoon after the close of markets. From a currency perspective, what intrigues you the most in that document?
Well, yeah, I think even just listening to Trudeau just now, he called it a pipeline crisis. And really what intrigues me more is the reaction in the market, a reaction on the street, really. And there's so much anger. I mean, this is a boost for business at a time that the economy's done better than expected. And all anyone can talk about is pipelines and this anger. And I think, by him calling it a crisis makes me think, well, of the expression, don't ever let a crisis go to waste. So, what can Trudeau do to take advantage of the crisis?
Yeah, that's a key question. Obviously, he's in Calgary, and he's going to get that question throughout the afternoon. I guess what they've laid out is the fact that, okay, they say they're committed to getting the product to Tidewater, so that's why they spent that taxpayer money on Trans Mountain. They keep saying it's a long process, so it doesn't seem there's any quick answer to what's going on.
Well, I think, from me, what the Liberals can learn from this, and I think what Canadians have learned from this, is that Canada's overburdened by regulation. A national bank likes to talk about the permit economy in Canada and the non-permit economy. And there's a lot of investment going into the non-permit economy. That's tech, that's services, and anything in industry is struggling. And the epiphany might be, well, Canada needs to fix its regulation. And, I think the messaging from the entire update might have been better if they just focused on regulation and left the other parts out. Because America has had a lot of success in trimming regulation. And, we can make this crisis about fixing pipelines and maybe revive even Energy East now that you have favorable premiers in Ontario and Quebec. Or you can make it about let's fix regulation in Canada. I mean, we all agree that we want to live in a nice environment, but the answers are technology. It's not in stifling investment and development.
Lastly, I want to ask you, if this crisis continues in terms of what we're getting for our heavy crude in the world, what is the Bank of Canada left with?
Yeah, I think there's this real game of chicken going on in the currency market where you have the Fed, the Bank of Canada, and the ECB all sort of teetering away from aggressive rate hikes next year. And in the first 3 weeks of December, they all meet and they're all going to appear. And, at least one of them is probably going to blink. I mean, Canada just got a little bit of a tailwind from this fiscal update. The Fed, to me, looks like the one that might blink and say we're going to ease off the gas a little bit. And I think that can help the Canadian dollar. I mean, as we saw, even today, that price differential is narrowing as refineries come back online. So I think we're probably very close to the peak of this crisis right now. And the Canadian dollar is higher today, and I think that's going to continue through the rest of the year.
All right, Adam, as always, thanks for your time and your insight.
Thanks.
That was Adam Button, Chief Currency Analyst at Forex Live.